All right, let's talk about something that might just change how you see problem solving. What if the best way to fix things wasn't, studying people from a distance, but actually empowering them? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical idea that flips the whole concept of research on its head. We're talking about turning subjects into collaborators. So let's break this down. At its core, the shift we're talking about is, well, it's actually super simple, but at the same time, it's incredibly profound. It all comes down to one tiny little word, a preposition. We're moving away from researching two people, where they're just, passive subjects under a microscope, and instead we're moving towards researching with them as real, active partners, co-researchers. And believe me, that single change in perspective, it's everything. And this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? Action research is most powerful when it moves from an individual pursuit to a shared professional journey. It's not a solo mission anymore. It's not just about collecting data and walking away. It's about collective discovery, about growing together. So you might be wondering, what does this journey actually look like in practice? Okay, section 1, research on people or with, unpacking the traditional approach. And really, to get a handle on this new way of thinking, we kind of have to start with the old way, right? So let's take a look at how research has traditionally been done. Yeah, you've probably seen this before, right? Picture the classic expert with the clipboard, kind of observing from a distance. They come in, they gather their data from a group of people, and then poof, they disappear to write some report that, let's be honest, the group itself might never even get to see. It's totally a one-way street of knowledge. And the big problem is, this whole approach misses so much of the nuance, the real-world wisdom that people actually have. So what if we could just break down that wall? That question leads us right into section 2, the participatory shift. This is a whole new paradigm, a completely different way of thinking about how we can generate knowledge and solve problems together. And here's the name for it: participatory action research, or PAR for short. Now, the two keywords you really need to remember here are collaborative and co-researchers. This is an approach where the people who are actually living the experience are put front and center. Think about it: the nurses who are trying to improve patient care, or the community members who want a safer park, or even the employees who are trying to redesign a clunky workflow. They're the ones who become central to both understanding the problem and fixing it. So if you take away one thing, let it be this mantra we keep coming back to. The whole philosophy is about moving from researching to people to researching with them. It's about closing that distance, blurring the lines between the researcher and the subject until they're really just one team, working towards the same goal. That, right there, is the fundamental shift in mindset. Okay, section 3, the collaborative cycle. So you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but how does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's unpack this collaborative cycle and see exactly how one person's idea, a single spark, can ignite some real shared power. Step 1 is individual inquiry. Every big change has to start somewhere, right? And in PAR, it often starts with just one person. Let's imagine a software developer, and she's got this nagging question: why isn't this new feature landing with our users? It's just a single focused question. That's the seed. But here's the thing: that spark doesn't stay a solo act for long. This is step 2, peer connection. So our developer, she goes and talks to another developer on her team who's like, you know what, I've been wondering the exact same thing. They start sharing notes, they look at user feedback together, they throw around some half-baked ideas, and just like that, you have the beginnings of a network of shared inquiry. And this is where the magic really happens. Step 3, the organizational project. That little network, that peer-to-peer conversation, it doesn't just fizzle out. It actually fuels something bigger, a larger, more structured project to collectively rethink the entire feature's design. All those individual questions feed into this powerful, shared cycle of action and learning. And that is how you create real, product-wide change. All right, section 4, rigor through collaboration. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds very nice and inclusive, but does it actually work? Does it get better results? Let's talk about why working together isn't just a feel-good exercise. It's actually a more effective way to get things done. Okay, the power of this whole thing really comes down to 3 key pillars. First, you have the participatory mode. This just means everyone is an active contributor. Nobody is sitting on the sidelines. Second is stakeholder voice. This is huge. It means the people who are actually affected by the issue get a real say. And third, collaborative analysis. Meaning isn't decided by one expert in a lab, it's made together by the group. It's basically a trifecta of collaboration. And when you build on these pillars, the outcome is pretty powerful. When you bring all these different perspectives together in a structured, collaborative way, you get more than just buy in. You actually get solutions that are both more rigorous because they've been tested against so many different viewpoints and way more creative.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The data really speaks for itself here. Just look at this chart. It's not even close. Collaborative solutions aren't just a little bit better, they are significantly better. You get more rigor, you get more creativity, you just get smarter answers. It's a total clear-cut win for teamwork.
All right, section 5 is your new question. So we've gone on this whole journey, right? From one person's question all the way to this collaborative powerhouse. The real question now is, how can we apply this mindset? Let's bring this back to you and your own work. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that the most powerful insights, the biggest breakthroughs, they don't usually come from some lone genius working in isolation. They come from a shared professional journey. It's all about recognizing that the most valuable expertise you need is often already right there in the room with you, just waiting to be unlocked. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. A question to take with you, to think about in your own work, in your own community, your own organization. Just imagine for a second what could become possible if we all made this simple but incredibly profound shift. What could we achieve if we stopped looking for subjects and started looking for partners?